Heather here. Um, I was just gonna shoot another vlog, like I typically do. But Lord, uh, I about shot a video earlier today, and I decided to not upload it because I was kind of talking about a few things that I don't necessarily want to talk about, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. Like, I'm just in a weird state of mind. Every day I struggle, like, with everything that I'm going through, battling depression. My kid not being home is really, I mean, like, that was my motivation, like, and she still is, but it's like I need the emotional and physical, like, like literally, I got to see her Thanksgiving night, and that's the first time I got to see her in 4 months. But that is the first time that we have hugged since January. So I went from January to November without even receiving a hug from my one and only kid. And she's at that age where, independence and all that and everything. She's like in her preteens and stuff. And I just cried like a baby. Like, I mean, because I don't have a significant other. I don't have anybody that I'm really close with. And I've even had somebody that I'm pretty sure they was being a smartass about, like, some situations going on, because this was where I used to work, and I'm out of work right now. Been out of work for a month. And one night they was like, oh, do you need a hug? And the way that they said it, you could tell it was kind of like, hateful. And the thing is this person has confided in me how they're not, the best at, let's just say that they are being a player, and they're proud that they are because they got played so many times. So now they're like, oh, I'm going to be a player. And so they got these people that they're playing on and shit. And it's a female that's doing this. And I was just like, okay, because it's not my problem. And when I've tried to make shit like that my problem before and be like, now I ain't never had a girl, in all honesty, where it's like, hey, I gotta tell you, your girl's cheating on you. Unless it's like, one guy, one guy that I'm really close friends with or something like that, and she's only cheating on him with one guy. But even at that was like high school. That was long ass time ago. And I just learned over the years that people really don't even give a damn. They don't believe you. That's like my husband. Me and my husband, we've been split for 5 years and still waiting on him to file for divorce. And he hasn't. And anyways, like, there was these girls that he got engaged to, and I was like, because I didn't want to stop him from dating. I didn't care that he was dating. I did at first. Probably the first girl I really did care that he was dating, because he literally, like, dated as soon as he left me. Like, because he was cheating on me. So he actually had a side chick, and it had like 3 or 4. So while we were together. So this one side chick that, that he, like, literally just 2-3 months later was like, after he left me, was like, yeah, I'm with her and I'm telling my family about it. And she went, and spent time with my family. Like, he was all on that shit and everything. And I mean, yeah, it stung and everything. But I tried to tell her, I was like, hey, he's still married to me. And she's like, kind of like, so, or whatever. And I thought, okay, she don't care, but then I don't think he got engaged to her, but he's been engaged to 3 other women since he's left me. Or he might have even been engaged to more since, because that was only that I know of. And that was honestly, he was engaged every year for the first 3 years that we were separated. He was engaged to different women. And so the first 3 women that, he's been engaged to, because like I said, I don't know if he's done it again. I was like, he's still married to me, right? And they're like, no, he's not. Every single one of them, no, he's not. And I was like, yeah, he is, and I was like, so, and I even gave them the phone number of our courthouse here and was like, you can call the courthouse and ask. We are still legally married. And I was like, so y'all being engaged, if he gets married to you, it's not going to be legally binding, like in full and everything because he's still married to me and all this and everything. Like, I was just trying to give them a heads up, and they went ballistic on me, and they're like, you're a liar. You're a piece of shit. No, he's, like, I mean, I got 2 or 3 messages from each of them cussing me out. And so I just blocked them and was like, fuck you, bitch. Kind of like, I tried. And so now, like, I don't even care to get involved in other people's shit. And that's just like I said in one video or whatever. It's like, relations. Any type of relationship. If there's a problem, then you and that person need to solve the problem. It's not everybody else's place to do that. Me and my dad, for instance. Oh my God, me and my dad. Me and my dad have many, 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 many problems. Many problems. And he does not care to fix them. And he never has and he never will. So that's the end of that, in all honesty. And has been for a very long time. Because he's not putting in any effort. And he would rather me probably, I guess, put him in prison for shit that he did, or not prison, but jail, or some shit for shit that he did 15 plus years ago. And I believe in family, and I believe in forgiveness, and I believe in God, and I believe that everybody's going to be judged for their sins. And I know that I'm a sinner, and I know that my dad's a sinner, and my dad's really done some sins that I just can't, I'm just like, I just can't, it makes me sick thinking about it. But anyways, relations, even if you bring counselors in or whatever, I'm learning that now. Because I literally tried to get a social worker involved myself. I did it myself. Me and my child were living here. I'm having issues with my child. I tried to get the school counselor involved. That shit didn't work. He said, oh, well, we'll get you a social worker to help you out. Okay, social worker showed up one time. I wasn't here. I was at work. I literally worked across the street, from where I live. Like, a hop, skip, and a jump, if you will. Like, it literally is not that far. But it kind of, is a decent little whatever. But still, what I'm getting at is he could have drove there and not have had to put, a bunch of gas in his car or anything. And he knew I was working there and give me a heads up, and I probably, in all honesty, because I probably would have went to my manager, whoever was over the shift, and been like, hey, can I clock out for break and talk to this social worker. But they came to my house when I was at work, and I'd given them my work schedule. And that's all they did. I called them like 2 or 3 times, left messages. They never called me back. They never contacted me or anything. And the next thing I know, like a month and a half, 2 months later, my parents take temporary custody of my daughter. Like, it's just me and my child, and we're bickering and we're fighting, and we need to learn how to communicate better. And like I'm saying, now I'm understanding. Nobody's going to help you communicate. You have to learn to communicate for yourself, and the other person needs to learn to communicate for themselves, and y'all need to make it work. And fuck anybody else coming into the shit. And so I don't care if it is, teenage hormones and I hate you and all that, and her screaming at me for an hour and a half that she hated me just because I took her phone and I hid it because she wouldn't give it to me. So she got up about an hour later and she went to the restroom, and when she did, I took her phone and I hid it because I'd asked her to give it to me and she wouldn't. So I took her phone and I hid it, and she come back and she got really mad at me because she was going to church. I don't go to church, or at least the church that the bus comes out here. I don't drive, never had a vehicle, and just got my license, and I'm 30 years old. Just got my license at the beginning of this month. But anyways, So, my child got all, that it was wrong of, like, she twisted her religious beliefs into me trusting God enough to trust what she was doing on the phone and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, but when it comes to you disrespecting me and you need to walk your dogs and you need to take care of your animals and you have responsibilities that you need to take care of and you're not taking care of them at all and you haven't taken care of them for days now and I've been having to do it or I've been having to wait last minute with you and then you hurry and do it. Like, she would literally take the dog out for like a minute, and if it didn't piss or use the bathroom or whatever, she'd bring it back in. And I'm like, that's not long enough for them to use the bathroom. And so they'd end up peeing in her room. And then she'd get mad because she had to clean that up. And so I was just like, honey, I'm over it, And so I took and hit her phone, and so she twisted the shit on me. And she's like, and you don't even know about God. She pretty much called me being a hypocrite because, how can I believe in God yet not go to church? And I really hate that she even said that to me. So there proves that the church is not teaching her the things that I think, that are morally and ethically and, like just right or whatever. Because you don't have to go to church to believe in God. And so then she did that. So then I flipped it on her and I was like, okay, what's the 10 Commandments? I was like, does it not say to honor and respect your mother and father? And then she tried to get on me about honoring and respecting my mother and father. And then I was like, honey, the abuse that I've endured from them, believe me, I have respected them more than anybody else on the face of the planet could. I'm like, so this is not about them. This is about me and you. And I was like, and right now, you are not respecting me. I was like, I've asked you about 8 times in about 3.5 hours to go in there and straighten up your room. And you wouldn't do it. You kept saying, hold on, hold on, hold on. And she kept looking at her phone. So I asked her to hand me the phone, and when I did, she set it up under her leg. So I didn't even ask anymore because I wasn't going to fight. I wasn't going to argue. We sat here, we watched TV for about an hour and a half. She's on and off of her phone as that hour and a half is passing by. Then she gets up to go and pee. She leaves her phone. I grabbed her phone. I took and I hid it. She comes out, where's my phone? And we got into an argument, and, she flipped that on me. And the next thing I know, she literally stood there after I said that to her about honoring and respecting me and about, like going, straightening up her room. She stood here for an hour and a half and screamed at me that she hated me. And at first I said, fine, I hate you too, And I said that probably for about 2-3 minutes. I was like, fine, I hate you too. Fine, I hate you too. Like, right back at her. And then she kept on, and I just sat here, and I literally watched the time pass by on the clock. It literally was like an hour or an hour and a half that she hollered at me, back to back, that she hated me. And so I just sat here, and after the 2 minutes of me saying it back to her or whatever, I was like, no, you don't. And I was like, stop saying that. You're going to regret saying that. Stop saying that. You're going to hate, that you said that, and stop saying that. And I can't say too much, but, like, I wrote my mom a I hate you booklet when I was like I literally, it was like a little book. I took 5 sheets of paper, I think, and cut them up in little squares, stapled them together, and wrote to Mom. And on the inside, I just wrote, I hate you, 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 I hate you. And I slid it up under the door because I was trying to tell her about, like, my dad, like, beating the shit out of me. And I wanted her to care, and she didn't care. And so I just had, like, a deja vu that, like, this is... anyways, something dealing with court or whatever. But anyways, I slid it up under the door, like my bedroom door was locked because Dad had beaten me recently, and I had tried to show her before, and she didn't care, and she's just like, well, and maybe you should behave better and stuff like that, and half the time she wouldn't even say nothing. She would just like roll her eyes, turn her head, and walk off like it didn't matter. She didn't care or whatever. And so we got in an argument or whatever that afternoon or morning or whatever. And I slammed my door. I went to my room, slammed my door, and locked it. And then my grandmother came and kept bugging me at the door, and everybody started bugging me at my door and being like, open the door, let us in, And this was before, because I was younger, and they didn't want me to know that they had a key. They wanted to make me think that I had my own independence, even though the whole time they always had a key, to get in. And I found that out when I was a teenager because or a preteen, because I was locking my dad out in the mornings because I'd wake up and he'd be in the bed all snuggled up to me, and it just made me feel disgusting. And he was in nothing but his fucking underwear. And so I started locking him out, even though he was the one that woke me up for school. And I started noticing after I did it, I did it 3 times, I think, before I was like, now I know I locked that fucking door. How the hell is he getting in here? And then I found out that he had a key. So then I went and stole the key and locked the door. And then he got mad at me and stayed mad at me. And after a week, I gave the key back. I put it back in its little hiding spot in their bedroom or whatever. And then, because I was afraid he was going to kill me the way he was looking at me during the daytime. And so I gave the key back, but I was like, I'm going to do something to make sure that he doesn't just come in and me not know it and climb into bed with me. So I started taking and setting my dresser in front of my door. And I'll never forget, because he couldn't figure out why he couldn't get in for 5 days after he had the key. He would unlock the door and I'd hear it unlock and I'd hop up and I'd be like, okay, I'm up, I'm getting ready. Okay, I'm up, I'm getting ready. And he would still try to open the door and push it open, but he couldn't get it because the dresser was blocking and then, and I mean, you get up, you change your clothes, you're getting ready for school, and I was a teenager, or a preteen. And so anyways, it took him about 5 days for him to, really be intrigued as to why he couldn't get in. And he pushed the door and he got his head in the door. And I had literally just got done putting my bra on. So I was standing there in my pants, luckily, with my bra on, and I was just like, you fucking bastard, And he was looking around, he looked crazy, that, literally insane. He looked fucking crazy. And then it wasn't long after that I actually came home one afternoon after school, and my door was out on the porch. He took my door off the hinges. And so for the first 2 nights after he did that, I think, I set my dresser in front of the doorway. And I think I even tried to put a sheet up there or whatever, and he was just laughing and giggling he thought it was fucking hilarious. I think I did that. But I know there was 3 nights that there was nothing there, because 3 nights I didn't even sleep. I stayed wide ass awake because I thought he was gonna molest me or kill me, or I had no idea. I was scared out my fucking mind. I had no idea what his intentions were or whatever. And then after the third day, I got fed up, so I went out there, grabbed the fucking door, and put the damn thing back on the hinges. And he come in, he's like, "Where's your door?" I was like, "Back where it belongs." He didn't say nothing, but he wasn't happy about it. Then that's the time that, in all honesty, I got to where I started having a lot more people spending the night with me. A lot more of my girlfriends spending the night with me. That way, it was kind of like, I have my friends. I can tell if you do something. You know, it was like that's what my mind was kind of, it was like, I have people I can tell that if you try to fucking touch me, I have people I can tell. I have people that are going to believe me, So I had people spending the night, and then not only that, on the nights that they spent the night is probably the best sleep that I got, because I knew he wouldn't do nothing while they were there. He would go in his room, and he would lock his door, and he would hide. And then that's the thing too, like, it makes you think that you have the best friendships with those people that spent the night, because you entrusted them with that without them even having to know that they are being entrusted with that. And then because he's hiding in his room because he's antisocial as fuck, he don't like drama, he don't like dealing with other people because he can't dominate and control them and everything. You literally get to act like your home is your home. You literally get to laugh and have fun. And Lord, did I enjoy it. And that's one thing too, like, I live in an apartment, and that's the only two places that I've lived away from family, if you will. The first apartment I lived with my husband, so, and in this apartment, but I cannot stand living in apartments. I've lived in two, and I'm done. My granny lived in them or whatever, and so whenever, like, we went over to see her, like, we kind of got a dose of what it was like to live in apartments and stuff, and I literally cannot do fucking apartments, because it's that I'm gonna dominate you factor. It's like, and that's one reason when my lease is up, or if I can find a way to leave before my lease is up and it be good with the landlord, but if I can't, whatever, but I've got to get the fuck up out of here. I got to. I don't want to. That's the sad thing. I really, genuinely don't want to, because I'm growing, like, internally and emotionally and mentally. And so it's like, I don't want to take away the only stability that I do have and it fuck me up, like, oh, I'm not stable on anything now, nothing's stable, because I've lived here, this is my 4th year, I don't want to do that to myself. But at the same damn time, I have felt so dominated and suffocated, because it's an apartment. So it's not just the landlord that you have to listen to, or that you're supposed to listen to, or that the landlord's going to give you those looks, and everything, when you don't do exactly what they want and shit like that. No, it's the neighbors too, and it's just like sickening. And it's like, I get that you can live in a house and still have people like that, but it's not as intrusive. It don't feel as intrusive and as mean and as cruel and everything. And I don't know. Like, I wish to God that my grandmother would have sold me her property and her trailer when I asked before I moved in here. I was like, I will pay, Just set the price. I was like, I will pay. Just set the price. But she wouldn't, because she's worried about my dad's brother, which is her other son, even though he's passed away. She's worried about that side of the family getting butt hurt, because they've always felt like our side of the family has gotten more of her love and compassion and concern and money and help and everything else. And so she's like, I can't, I gotta leave it, possibly. Anyway, she don't know what the hell she's gonna do with her property, is the best way to put it. Because she had my aunt living with her after my uncle died. And my aunt fixed up the trailer. And I say that like that, not in complete and total sarcasm, but mainly just the fact that the walls are burgundy. I cannot stand dark rooms. That's my, but hey, to each their own. I mean, it don't look horrible, but it's just like, I like white walls. I really do. Or light colors. Like, I don't like dark. Like, it reminds me of my childhood home, and so, no. But, anyways, she said she was going to leave at least the trailer to her, since she fixed up the trailer, and then maybe the property or whatever and stuff. And I'm just like, why, and I'm like, because it all happened at the same time. I literally was like, will you sell me this? And she's like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, I don't have time for I don't knows. I was like, I need to know now, And so I was like, fuck it, we're moving out. So we moved over here. When we moved over here, my uncle died. And then when my uncle died, then my aunt moved in with my grandmother. And it all was just like, ding, 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 like, it all just happened like that. I was like, what the fuck, And so, I don't know. But my aunts moved out or whatever. And so I don't know who the hell my grandmother is going to do anything with or whatever, or who, she's, like, there's no telling. There's no telling. But, like, I flourish, I guess is the best way to word it. I flourish in a more quiet and peaceful environment. I flourish better when there is a fucking yard. Like, that's the way that I'm gonna grow, better, is if I don't have neighbors that their wall is shared with me, And even if, those houses that literally they're like 5 or 10 feet apart, maybe 15, 20, or even 25 feet apart. I need the next house to be like, quite a bit of ways, like, I don't know. Like, I need land. I need yard. Like, and that's one thing too, like, about this girl that, like, I crushed on and everything. Like, she'd moved in to one of her family members' properties, and they had nice land, and I was just like, God, if me and her were to work out, like, if they were to be accepting of me, if her family was to be accepting of me, or even if it wasn't like that, like, even if we weren't romantic and we just moved in like as, roommates, I was like, Jesus Christ, like, and they'd let me just fence in, I'll pay for the fencing myself, like, I'll hire professionals to come put it up. Just enough room for my dogs to run, And it was so quiet and peaceful there, even though, like, she tried to make it seem creepy one night. Like, she was just being silly. But, like, I don't know. Like, I was just like, I feel better I feel better in nature. I just do. I feel better with yards, property, or just hiking, or going up on the mountains, or whatever. Like, I just love nature. And since I've not been able to drive all this time, not had a vehicle, it's like, oh, well, I'm stuck living in an apartment. Well, you know what? I'm going to go for a hike. I've never had that. And then I busted my ankle when I moved in here, so it's like, not the best hiking buddy anymore. Thank you, God. And sometimes I'm just like, God, like, do you want me to die? And then that's like where depression and shit kind of comes in, because imagine if you always try to get shit together, but you can't never get nothing to come into fruition. Everything just falls apart, and the only time that anything even comes close to coming into fruition is because it's you and a significant other, and y'all are building together as a team. It's like, I need somebody to fucking build shit with me. Like, I don't know if I'm going to make it without that. Like, I try to think I'm going to, but then I get on this, okay, I can do it all by myself type mentality, where I'm just like, okay, I'm going to be stubborn, and I'm going to be like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, to anybody that tries to come in my bubble, if you will. And this is my bubble, and stay out of my bubble, and get the fuck away, and I'm doing my own shit. And then it still, all the time, just falls apart. It just falls apart. It just falls apart every fucking time. And so I'm just like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And then it's like, oh yeah, I do better when I'm with, okay, why can't I be with? And that's another thing too, is I'm going to take it again here in a little while. And I debated on whether to put this out or whatever, but maybe it'll pull in some people, or it'll pull in some people being nicer to me because they'll understand me. I took the Briggs-Myers personality test or whatever, which I've taken it before, and I've actually taken one before, and it was like not there. I don't know which version it was of it, because there's different versions of the tests now, because it's been going on forever practically. But and I even have things pop up in my YouTube all the time that's like, INFJ, are you the rarest of the rare? Like, are you the rarest personality type? And so when I took the test yesterday, and like I said, I'm going to take it again, because like because I'm very like particular about shit like that, because my moods, I'm a very mood oriented type person. And so there's nothing really hard set stable about me, except for like my morals and values. And they have to be like honorable or whatever, because that's one thing that it says that came across or whatever, is like I have an innate like way about me where it's like it has to be right or wrong. Everything has to be right or wrong. There's no ifs, ands, maybes, or buts about it. It's always going to lean more, towards the right or the wrong, and so which one is it? And so I took the test though, and it come out that I am a INFP. And it said that there are only 4% of that make up the United States population. Like, and I was like, fuck my life. I was like, holy shit, I'm alone. And I was like, I didn't need a damn test to tell me that. That's what went through my head. And then I was like, okay, let's see what the INFJ is. That has kind of popped up on me before. And like I took one test one time, and it come up that I was that, or it come up like I don't know, I forget, but anyways. And so I looked up that, and it said that it makes up 1 to 1/3 of the percent of the world's rarest, like, or the general, or some type of anyway, something dealing with the population, but it's like 1 to 3%. I said thirds, didn't I, instead of percent? Shit. Anyways, my mind, I'm sleepy. I haven't ate anything. But it makes up 1 to 3%, not thirds. Jesus Christ. 1 to 3% of the world's general population, the INFJ does. And the INFP makes up 4% of the United States population. And I'm like, either way, I'm still in that category of a very rare type of person. And in all honesty, like, one thing that I read, that it was like, you enjoy life. And I do. And that's the reason, like, people don't get me whenever it's like, oh, you're diagnosed with depression. And I'm like, yeah, but I enjoy life. And it's like, but you can't enjoy life if you're depressed. And it's like, it's a fucking just mash up, like, just bullshit. It's just baffling and everything. But it's like, I do enjoy life. I do enjoy living and everything like that. I am the most positive in my family. I really fucking am. Even though it may not seem like it to an outsider or whatever. But anyways, I read that and I was like, yeah. And then I was like, we're all about life and life being good and finding the good and the shit and and I was just like, and I'm alone. I'm so alone. I was like, nobody gets me. Nobody understands me. And it's like, I literally, got depressed, like, thinking about it. Because, like, I want to be around people that are like me, that get me, that understand me. And it's like, nobody understands me. Nobody gets me, and I'm just like, fuck. And then to take a test, and it's like, yes, no one understands you except for, us that have done the psychological studies over the years. And I'm just like, fuck you, Like, you're not even this type either, but you're like, oh, but we understand it because we read it. And it's like, no, you don't. You don't get it. You don't. It's like, you don't get it. You don't understand. And it's like, I just want somebody who understands me. And that's another thing, too. Like, dealing with battling depression and stuff and everything. If you look back at my past videos, you can tell I obviously had not had a shower. I took a shower today. And I let my hair naturally part. I was going to talk about that because look at this shit. Like, it's to the side there. Like, because I got what's referred to as a cowlick. And then I've got 2 crowns. And so it's to the side. And anyways, that's like the natural, because of what was forced upon, because my grandmother and my mom used to spend hours trying to figure out how the fuck to part my hair. Because they're like, you got a double cowlick, you got a double crown, you got a double, like, they part it this way. I don't like it that way. I would literally stand there in front of a mirror for like an hour and a half, just standing there and not being able to move. And they're fighting over which way to part my fucking hair. And that's another thing too. Like, literally, people thought I was a boy until I was like 6. Like, a lot of people thought I was a boy because I had so little hair. Like, I didn't have a lot of hair on my head or whatever. Like, I mean, I had hair, but it was like, it was thin, and it's like, it was really short, or whatever, and everything. It was just enough, or whatever. And, I didn't care that people thought I was a boy, because I'd be like, no, like, I thought it was funny, because I'd be like, no, I'm a girl, and I'd be like, oh, you thought I was a boy because I was strong, because my dad, like, he wanted a son, and he didn't get a son, and he was told he was going to get a son, but surprise, surprise, it was a girl, because they didn't do the ultrasound right. And so he raised me very tomboyish, but he was very strict on me and very hard on me. And then my mom made sure that he was even harder on me. And then in that it became him being really hard on me, and then, but he used to be always be like, show him your muscles, show him your muscles. And I'd have to like tense up my arms, and I would like shake, like I would do it like, I'd tense up my arms like a lot, and like to the point that I was shaking. And he'd be like, "Ooh, you're so strong," and my whole family got on that kick doing that to me when I was real little. And I noticed that my daughter, because things that, like it just hereditary, and memories and all that and everything, would she get real mad? Sometimes when she was little, she'd do her arms, and tense them up. And I'd be like, stop it. I'd be like, you don't have to be that mad about what's going on. Because she'd get mad because, like, I'd be like, it's bath time. She'd be like, I don't want to. I want to watch the rest of Umizoomi. I'd be like, no, it's bath time. Now. Go in there, and she'd be taking her shirt off, and I'm starting to run her bath water, and I turn around and look at her, and she'd just have those arms all tensed up, and it's like, damn, kid, calm down. Calm down. It is okay. A few times I just put her damn shirt back on her or whatever, and I was like, go watch it. Jesus. Just go watch it. Be happy. Oh, Lord, and I miss doing that with her so much. Me and her, now, I don't know why from my childhood. I remember my dad, I don't know what the hell was going on. I don't know if there was some type of manipulation and some type of abuse going on or not, but I remember watching Brave Star and He-Man and She-Ra and all that shit when I was a kid, and the old cartoon Ghostbusters, and stuff like that. And I remember being itty bitty and watching that. And I remember my sister trying to say that I didn't know who those people were, and I had no right to talk about them because I was born in '88, and so, like, supposedly, like, I wasn't, in her opinion, like, they're just like, no, you don't know who that is. And, also, what is it? Oh shit. What's her name? Starbright? And I wasn't allowed to be a big Starbright fan, even though I wanted to, but I wasn't allowed to because that was my sister's thing. Because that's what happens when you're raised by narcissists, and there's the golden child and then the scapegoat child, or at least in my family, that's the way it was. Anything that the golden child, my sister, liked, I was not entitled to even enjoy it. Like, I was not entitled to like it. And I was downgraded, like, if I even tried to. And that's even like the movie The Last Unicorn. I think that's a really good movie, and I really like it, and I liked it when I was a kid, and I used to cry when it would start to come on, like the song, and I don't know, and other stuff, other spiritual, like, just feelings, I guess, or whatever. I don't know how to explain it, but anyways, I wasn't entitled to that or whatever. But so my dad used to, like, let me stay up late at night when it would come on and watch those cartoons, and my sister would have to go to bed, and I would remember sitting and eating like a bunch of sweets, like, it's like I got fed anything that I wanted. And then, like, I would literally, like, pass out, like, food coma, like, or whatever. And I don't know. I don't know. I just remember, and it was weird, and it was strange, and I don't want to get into it anymore. I don't want to know if other shit. But anyway, I still liked those cartoons, regardless. And I still do. Like, and so they were coming on late at night during the summer when we was with my husband, and we didn't have cable, but we had an antenna, and so it picked up the channel that picked that up. me and my kid would set up and watch it together. And like, I remember one night we kind of got in a popcorn fight. We was throwing popcorn at each other. It took us. There was still pieces of popcorn like 3 days later. I was finding in the couch and everything. Like I was like, damn, we threw that shit everywhere, didn't we? Like we was having some fun, but that was back then. That's when we was with my husband. It's like ever since we came to live in this apartment, because I'm working. I was the provider. Where when we was living in our other apartment, my husband was the provider, so I was able to be all up my daughter's hind end, if you will, of what do you want, what do you need, and let me take care of you, and oh my God, my baby, and, and so it got to where I was the provider when we moved out here, and my kid wasn't used to me working, and my kid wasn't used to, and I'm not used to it either, but I got used to it. And then my kid, she just never got used to it. Like, she never got used to me working. And I've actually like quit a job like around summertime, kind of not just because of stress at work and the job not working out or it not being in my best interest at that moment in time, like health wise, emotionally, and everything else, but kind of so that way I can spend time with my kid too, because my kid's used to spending her whole entire summers with me. I'm the one playing the board games. I'm the one, doing the tickle fights, and I'm the one doing this and that and everything. And it's hard to be that, like, it just really is. There really is two different types of parenting styles. There's the parent that's the stay at home, and then there's the parent that's the working, and those two people cannot parent the same. They can't. And so it was just a big transition for my kid, and it caused a lot of stress in our relationship, and it really sucks. But it's like she's been stressed out ever since we've been living here, because like she didn't have me 24/7 to just have, like, use like as her maid or whatever, I guess you'd say, or like her beck and call anytime she needed something. What, like just constantly, And that's like even like when I was with my husband, granted she still got food from the school, and cafeteria, but sometimes I'd pack her lunches. Sometimes I'd pack them for like a week out of a month or 2 weeks out of a month, but for the most part she ate what was at the school. But it's like we got here, and it's like I was so tired and everything, and her work schedule, my work schedule, my work schedule, and her school schedule, and trying to make sure that I'm here when she gets on the bus and off the bus and all that, because it's not like I had the money to pay for a babysitter or to make sure that it worked out with my parents, because they were the ones getting her and schedule wise and all that and everything. It was just a hassle. It was a mess. And so, because of a bunch of shit going on between me and my parents, and my kid even coming from over there and complaining, and that's another thing too. My child always said she wanted to let her hair grow out really long, and she's had it cut now 3 times that I know of since she's been over there. And she's like, oh, I like it, and everything. She's like, I like it, she says to me, but I think to myself, yeah, you like it, but you don't, like I know you. And the reason she got it cut is because my nieces, that's one thing that they used to do to her when her hair was really long, is they would put stuff in her hair. Like, my youngest niece especially would put, like, sticky candy shit in her hair and everything. Like, and so now my kid's had her hair cut more than she's probably ever had her hair cut for the majority of her, well, not the majority of her life, but still, she's, like, her hair used to be so long. And it was even still long when they got her picture made last year. But anyways, I hate anybody to give up on their goals, and I know that people give up on their goals sometimes because their mind changes, and I get that completely and totally, like that people's minds change, or your goals change and your plans change, and that life is always changing and shit like that and everything. But then that really sends you in even more depressed if you're like an emotional person like me, because you're just like, what? I'm doing all this and nothing's working, it's like, it's all changing all the time, then why the fuck do I even try? But I just get on here and ramble about a bunch of shit that I'm going through. And I'm going to go ahead and just toss this out. Even though my camera will not show the right date and time, but it will show the time because and it shows a date, but it wasn't set right. Now the time might have been set right in all honesty, but the date wasn't. It shows February 25th, I think, on my camera. But last night the moon was really pretty. And I hate the pictures that my phone takes. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take some pictures with my camera. Let me see if my camera even has anything on it, like any memory space, because I haven't used it in so long. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to take some pictures of the moon. So I'm taking pictures of the moon. My dog is barking at people across the way outside. And I'm like, getting irritated with her and stuff. And anyways, I'm taking these pictures, and I debated on whether to say anything about this on this, but I do believe, like I've said, like that ghosts and stuff like that can exist and stuff and everything, and I've had my own occurrences and incidents and shit. But my dog's barking, and then my dog, like, because I tied her up so I could take the picture, she, like, looks at me, and it's like her eyes met mine, and I was like, it's okay. You don't have to bark unless somebody's right behind me. I was like, shut up. And I snapped a picture at that moment, and even when I looked, like, because, it shows it for a split second before it puts it in the gallery or whatever, or in the memory. And I caught it, like, as right after I was like, holy shit. And I was like, just take another picture and forget what the fuck that was. So I just took another picture, and I was like, and if it was something, maybe you'll get another picture of it. But I didn't. And it literally looks like it was a ghost that walked right in front of my face. And I wish, like, I had a computer that way I could, like, upload. And I wish that I knew how to edit things really good. That way I could be like, look, and it literally, and I looked at it today, like, I had to brave looking at it. Like, I had to brave looking at it last night after I came in. I was like, no, I'm not going to look at it. Like, scared the shit out of me, And I was like, okay, it's an hour later. I think I can look at it. And the thing is when I looked at it, I heard a thud outside. And I was like, holy shit, okay, I ain't looking at it. And, anyways, and it looks like it's just the face, in all honesty. It looks like it's somebody that would have been, because I obviously taken pictures of the moon, and the moon looks like it's where one of their eye sockets would have been, if you will, or whatever. And then there's another part that it actually looks like a fucking eye, like, and it's turned towards the camera, so it's looking at me, and it looks like it's taller than me. It looks like it's a man. I was just like, shit. But, yeah, really weird. Really weird. Really, really weird. And so I looked at it again just a few minutes ago before shooting this, and I was like, okay, I'm safe, it's daytime, it's daylight, everything's good, whatever, and I'm not getting into this, and God, if this is because I've wondered sometimes if, like, my purpose is, like, something dealing with shit like that, and I'm like, no, I don't want that. And it's like, this is not the movie The Sixth Sense up in here. Like, no, I'm not that. No, it's like, no, I refuse, and, so I look back at it and I was like, oh, well, even if somebody else sees it, they'll probably just, brush it off and be like, that's nothing. That's nothing. That's bullshit. And that's this and that and everything. And I was like, because, yeah. And I was like, so, and there's probably a minute or two in between me taking the pictures, even though I know there wasn't for as far as the one that I took right after, because I was just like, hurry and snap another one. That way you confirm that it's gone, or that it was just a glitch maybe in the camera, or what the fuck ever. And so I hurried and I took another one, and I was just like, okay, there's nothing there. And so looking back on it today, the picture before, and maybe even the picture before that, the picture that has it in it, the picture after, and maybe even a second or third picture after, because I took several. And this is like not the best setting that I got on my camera that I took pictures, or the pictures of the moon with last night. And it was all taken within 1 minute. And I'm just like, shit. And I'm like, it's not funny. It's not funny at all, and I don't know, and yeah. And then, it kind of reminded me, like, looking at it today, of a family member that I've talked about that I was really close to that passed away when I was 7. But the thing is that I do not believe that he would be taller than me. And like I said, this looks like this is just a person's face. And it almost looks like it's like the face is profiled, but then it's like looking like, so it's like the shadow of, and anyways, just some freaky shit. I'm like, hell no, like, not happening, not doing this. And so yeah, sorry, I just freaked myself out, but because I'll shut that door right now, maybe. My kid's bedroom's dark, and when I walked past the dark room, anyway, I don't like talking about stuff like that. I have my reasons. Same reason I've never watched one of the Paranormal Activity movies, and even though I've heard that they're not that bad, and I've seen bits and pieces, I don't want to watch the shit alone. And I don't have anybody to watch it with, so I'm good. But I'm gonna end this video here. If anybody sees it, likes it, if anybody even remotely gets me, since I make up 4% of the U.S. population, or what the fuck ever, for as far as my personality type, please hit a like. Let me know that you at least kinda like the video. You can comment, you can write something, you can share, you can subscribe. Show me a little bit of love and support if you can, because apparently I'm never going to get it any fucking ways, and my life is going to be miserable. But that's the way that I feel, knowing that I'm a INF, P or J or whatever. I swear to God. Anyways, it's enough to drive me insane. And then I'm battling depression on top of it. And then yeah. So it's all great and good and everything, but I'm going to get off here. And yes, I'm walking around my house because I'm just, yeah. For my apartment. But I'm going to end it, and I'll talk to you later. So, see you in the next one.